slave the master's house than the master himself. And let's not forget her criticisms of black and brown immigrants, saying they need to integrate into British culture so British values aren't eroded, while she gives European immigrants warm welcomes. British values? You mean slavery, colonialism, fish and chips without seasoning? Kemi Badenoch isn't just echoing the rhetoric of the house Negro, she's updating it for the contemporary, supposedly post-slavery world.
I got some hands to burn it, cross it in them backwards. It's time to wake them up, cause they been sleeping on the track.
Let's show you how your little sister from me. My manager gave me this Pinotage by Barista 2023 vintage, and I'm not a fan of Pinotage, but ever since I tasted the Warwick one, I am trying to give Pinotage a chance, and I think this is going to be delicious. And she said it was delicious, so as somebody who has more knowledge of wine than myself, I think it's good. I mean, she's given me wine before and it was really tasty, and I trust her judgment in this. Smells like dark chocolate, wood, coffee, ginger biscuits as well. Oh my god. Okay, so I turned back my settings to where they were, factory settings, and I like this color better than I like the orangish one because that one made me look like I was sick. Anyway, oh, this is gonna be delicioso. It's a long thing goodbye. Wish for everyone at the same time. He likes to chase, cause somehow it's safe. Never planning on actually staying. Yeah, you know he's just playing. I need to get a chocolate pairing for this.
Asked all of those questions is because what we need to first do is find your story, find your brand story. The point I'm trying to get to is what kind of story is Mapula going to tell me in order to put the creativity on the page?
In Cape Town, but a lot of people would go, if they were buying swimwear, they'd go to those. It would be someone in their early 20s to their mid 40s, late 40s. The mall because my medical aid decided to pay me my claims, so this is the first month in a very long time where I get to payday with some money in my bank account. I bought these sponges at Clicks because I don't have sponges anymore for my powders and stuff. The usual spinach, and I bought these grapes in a jumbo packet. Then I bought this chili, the spice, and I bought Pinotage. I am just buying wine so that my wine rack is full. I'm not gonna drink this wine anytime soon. Some onions because I ran out of onions. I also ran out of dishwashing soap. And I bought some bors, also bought some acha. I was on a call with my mom earlier and I told her to ship acha with my sister when she comes over. And then I bought Biscoff as my little dessert, some bananas, and I've never had dragon fruit, so I'm gonna have dragon fruit today for my lunch snack.
Seen one of these? They look like a smoothie bowl. Give it.
Huh. Okay. I've never had dragon fruit before. It's really beautiful. Wow. Okay, separate it. My face is like this because I had high expectations of how this would taste, and I thought it would be sweet. Lo and behold, it's not. It tastes like nothing. Actually, it's not bad. Like, if you don't like sugar like me, it's not bad. It's for you. It's my first time tasting this, and I'm a little bit disappointed.
Mama's here, 'cause maybe in time.
You call this just up ahead?
Crossed into Canada.
What the hell's going on? Get in the car.
We are arresting you for war crimes and crimes of aggression in violation of international human rights treaties and international law.
Sorry, my dishwasher is going. I'm watching, obviously, The Handmaid's Tale, and I am on episode, I think it's season 3, where Commander Winslow has been killed by June at the Jezebels. It got me thinking. I recently watched the movie Companion, so watch Blink twice. Men, when it comes to them being abusive, being murderers, being all these things, they do not plan ahead. They make plans as they go. They don't plan ahead because they think that they can always get away with it. Whereas women always plan ahead, especially when it comes to escaping a specific situation. Guys, do not underestimate women when they come together. The level of heat that's coming out of me is just indescribable. I just came back from Checkers. This broke. I put some panini in this to try to make some ice, and I'm gonna see if it's gonna work. So work with me. Let's see. That looks so pretty. I'm feeling hella creative today. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, let me meet you guys halfway, because I've been promising such videos and I never do them. So today is the day. Happy Valentine's Day, belated. So guys, on today's video, we're going to be talking about how to move cities, specifically for my girlies in Cape Town in South Africa. If you're going to be moving to Cape Town, I'm going to give you a couple of tips to be on the lookout for when you move from wherever you're going to be moving from to Cape Town. I have moved to Cape Town twice in the space of 6 years, 6 to 7 years. I moved to Cape Town in 2017. 2017, oh my God, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh my goodness. This is going to be my 8th year. During those 8 years, I moved twice to the city, and twice has been very difficult in the finding an apartment aspect. And it's always difficult for everybody because, as you guys know, we are facing this issue where digital nomads and experts are moving to Cape Town because it's so cheap to stay in Cape Town. They're making it very difficult for the local community to afford apartments. Honestly, I wish I could have my Cape Town salary in Joburg. I wish I could move my job to Joburg so I can enjoy the cheap rental, the space in Joburg, because Cape Town apartments are starting to mimic European apartments where it's super tiny and it's expensive. And honestly, you're just paying for the views, and you're paying for the fact that a lot of Europeans and Americans are wanting to purchase property here because they can. I actually feel like we should make South African property law the way that the Balinese people, the Indonesian people are doing it, where you can rent for however long you can, but it will never be yours. The Spanish people are also experiencing the same shit that we are, and it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy, and the fact that the DA controls the entire Western Cape, well, not necessarily, but they control the Western Cape, and more specifically Cape Town, we are diabolically. And also because one of their people is at Airbnb. So with that being said, here are some tips that you can actually action or you can take to make your moving to Cape Town a little bit easier. So there should be like some sort of a service where I've seen this in Europe. I used to work in HR in Europe, and one of the things that the company that I used to work for was relocation. So they used to relocate a lot of people from different countries into the Netherlands, and one thing that they do is you would have the people in the relocation department doing viewings for you. I think that's a market that hasn't been tapped in South Africa, but also because there's so much corruption in South Africa, you wouldn't believe when a person tells you that they viewed a place for you, it's perfect for you, and also because South Africans cannot decide. I've realized that a lot of Joburgers specifically, I'm calling you out guys, you Joburgers, you never have your shit together. You never decide on anything until it's the last minute. And I do not count myself in anymore because I'm not a Joburger anymore. I'm a child of the world. The first thing that I would suggest is for whichever reason that you're moving to, plan your move well in advance, guys. Plan your move like a year and a half before you move, because you will need all the resources you can get. For example, if you're moving a year in advance, you will research on the areas that are expensive, cheap, affordable, closer to where you want to be, or for whatever. Let's say, for example, you're moving for work. You research the places where you're going to be moving for work or how far they are, conveniency, public transport. And then you can even make a trip to Cape Town just to see how the things are going to work. Obviously, at this time, you haven't really found the job that you're looking for in Cape Town, but you're planning. You're hoping that the companies that you want to work for, your dream companies, are in an area where you will actually be able to access. I highly recommend getting a car when you're in Cape Town because it's not as easy as things are in Joburg. Public transport in South Africa sucks. And I find that it's a little bit easier in Joburg because I feel like Joburg is a little bit more diverse. In Cape Town, it's very difficult. It's been difficult for me to use public transport because, first of all, I don't speak Xhosa, and you can't really speak English with taxi drivers because they don't like that. Not because they can't speak the language, they just don't like that and they think you're being pompous or something. And third, you will get lost. There's no straightforward ways to get to a place. In most cases, you have to connect here and there. For example, I stay in Noordhoek, and if I need to go to town, I first have to catch a taxi from here to Fishhoek or a bus to Fishhoek. From Fishhoek, I either catch the train straight to town, which in most cases I don't think it's safe, especially when it's not peak time. And then from there on, from town, if I'm using a taxi from Fishhoek, I have to catch a taxi to Wynberg, from Wynberg to town. You can imagine 3 taxis, those take 3 hours because they have to wait for people or wait for people to fill up the taxi, blah blah blah. It's a long wait, and I do not like that. I'm a girl who is always late, and because I want to change my ways and be a better human being and be a better woman, I'm trying to get to places on time. So I highly encourage you getting a car or staying with someone who has a car or having friends with cars who are willing to help you. The next thing is, obviously, you visited Cape Town, you know how Cape Town works, you have friends in Cape Town, they can tell you all these things. Also, you need to do your own research. Another thing that I have to say though about my people here in South Africa, you guys do not like to research. Google is free. Once you've done your research, you can always reach out to someone like me and be like, hey, I've done my research, I found this and this out, but then I still have questions about this part. But then you guys will reach out to people and say, hey, I'm moving to Cape Town, where is the best place to stay? First of all, I don't know what you like, apartment or house. I don't know where you're gonna be staying. I don't know where you're gonna be working. I don't know why you're moving. I don't know your budget. Like, you guys never ever want to say the full story. I remember there was this girl who was planning a trip to South Africa, and she was planning her trip to Cape Town. She's South African, but she was planning her trip to Cape Town. She had been living abroad, and honestly, she was like to me, hey, I'm planning a trip to Cape Town and I wanted to find out where is the best place where are the activities, right? I don't mind giving people like activities that can do a list of all the activities. And I asked her, I was like, where are you going to be staying? This girl concealed her hotel or Airbnb, the area, because I was like, which area are you going to be staying? And she concealed that. I don't know, maybe she thought that I was going to come and rob her or what. I do not know. One thing I know for sure is that I do not have time to be robbing people. I do not have time to be meeting people anyway. Like, I do not have time at all to be doing nonsensical stuff. So if you're going to be reaching out to me, reach out to me with tact and intent. So that was very, very annoying, by the way, because I was just like, damn, okay, don't ask me then if you're going to conceal that. I don't know why you're concealing it. I don't even care. I'm not even going to ask you which room number or anything. Just tell me I'm staying at the President Hotel. Okay, then I can give you a list of activities you can do throughout, because my plan was that I'm going to give her activities based on doing a round trip, like doing a circular trip around the hotel, so that it's not difficult. If she needed to change, she can go back to the hotel. If she needed, you get my gist, right? Anyway, the thing is, accommodation is super expensive. It doesn't matter where you stay, and if you go further out of the city, the thing is, it becomes very inconvenient transport wise, social wise. Also, it becomes inconvenient. So you most probably would rather settle for something in the city or closer to the city. And in Cape Town, one thing you will be shocked by is that you will be paying about 8,000 to 10,000 for a house share. In the house share, you find that there's about 10 of you, especially in places like Observatory, Woodstock, in the city center. A lot of these people will buy out a whole place and charge you guys exuberant amount of money. Unfortunately, it is the state of Cape Town. There's nothing we can do about it. The best thing that you can do is invest in property, and you do the same, especially if you're a person of color. You do the same, because we can all benefit. If they can benefit, we can all benefit. And once you start seeing that they also complain about the state of prices and rental and all these other things, that's where you know that we are all so expect the fact that you will be doing a house share. Now, here's the thing. When you have budgeted for your move and it's time for you to move, I hope that you just bear in mind that you budget enough for at least 6 months for you to stay in an Airbnb or a house share, because that way you'll be in Cape Town staying in this place, in this Airbnb for 6 months, while you look for a place to stay in, or a permanent place to stay in, or a solution to your moving or your accommodation situation. Your happiness depends on your accommodation. The best places to be looking for accommodation is the obvious ones: private property, and Property 24. I always encourage people to go out and meet people and make friends and build a community in different cities and in places where they don't know people, because that way you will open up your network. You can do private property, Property 24, or Facebook groups. I know one is called Haze Cape Town, where you can enter these groups and find yourself an accommodation. Again, all these accommodations are expensive. You might be paying around 8,000 or more for these rentals. Okay, now you've moved to Cape Town and you're just like, I don't know what to do with transport. Then the best thing you can do is apply the same tactic you apply if you're using public transport, is speaking the language, or try to speak the language. But do not be naive. Try to speak the language, ask as many questions as you can, be as annoying as you can, especially when you're trying to get to where you're going. If you're going to be using the train, I would suggest that you use it during peak hours, which is Monday to Friday at early morning and late in the afternoon, like around 5, 6, 7, when people are coming from work or when they're going to work. And then also in the weekends, trains are quite safe because a lot of people are using it to get to different beaches this side of my world. And then friendships. I would suggest that you reach out before you move. Before you move to Cape Town, guys, when you know that your contract has been signed, your date to move has been, confirmed, you've got months going on, left to your departure, I would suggest going on Instagram, social media specifically, to go look for friends, or asking people if they know people in Cape Town that they can introduce you to. And that way you know that when you move to Cape Town and you're stranded, like for example, you don't know how to get something or where to get to a place, you don't know how things work, you don't know public transport system, you can always reach out to those people that you've been connected to learn more. And in some cases, Cape Town can be quite lonely. Cape Town is a little bit of a Europe, but it can get lonely. And because you're new and you don't know how things work, you don't want to do things by yourself because of safety, especially if you're a woman. In this case, that's where you also reach out to the people you've been referred to as friends in the new city, that you can actually hang out with them and create those friendships. It's easier to be introduced to people, and through those people you meet other people and they meet other people, you meet each other and you make your own friendships out of the people that you meet. The nicest thing is that if you're being introduced to a group, you're no longer a stranger. Those people always think of you when things are being done. Like, for example, I'm now part of a hiking group, and it's quite nice to be in that group because I can always leave my friend who introduced me to it and join that group to go with everybody. I don't rely on her to go on these groups. Of course, it's always nice to have her around when the hiking happens. I think those are the things that I would definitely mention that you should look out for. Other than that, guys, the rest is like any other city that you'd be moving to in South Africa. Just common things. If you want to be buying like furniture, I would suggest Decofurn because it's one of the cheapest places to buy furniture. If you want to be buying like home storage stuff, you can either buy them on Temu, or if you want some local stuff, go to Mambo's. Mambo's sells a ton lot of affordable things. Some furniture stores would be Tafelberg Furnitures. I buy my appliances there, and some of them is Cape Town Furnitures. I think that's where you buy some of the refurbished, not necessarily refurbished, but then they are dented. They come from the warehouse and they've got dents and stuff like that, so they've been reduced, and you can buy those and also lay by. There's tons of options that you can do for furniture. I finished my house in like a year because I was trying to save and I was earning a lot less, and the list goes on. But there's so many ways that you can actually do that. And another thing is going on Marketplace and buying secondhand furniture or getting your furniture done at a very low price. I got my coffee table done, and another thing that I wanted to do was my bed base because I like things that are done out of wood pallets, so that's kind of like my style. There's tons of options that you can do, like finding sales, going to markets to meet people, going to markets to de-stress, because a market will always be the safest place that you can be. There's lots of people. You can use Uber to get there. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and see you guys very soon.